Imagine standing on a narrow balance beam. Each step a little unsteady. Your grip is tight as you cling to any sense of control you can find. And just as you're carefully placing one foot in front of the other, you realize that you're actually looking down at the distance to the ground and you're trying to reach out wildly to grab something, and it only makes balancing harder. Instead, how you find balance is by fixing your eyes forward and trusting that each step will hold as you take it. You see, in life, we often cling to control the same way. We hold on to our last bit of patience, strength, money, whatever it may be, hope that we can muster, afraid that letting go will leave us without security. But trusting God is like looking ahead on that balance beam. It's looking ahead at Him, steadying ourselves by focusing on God, confident that each moment, each step that we take, that He'll provide, and there will be a firm foundation. The Israelites, they learned this lesson in the wilderness where God was giving them manna, not in abundance, but just enough for each day. That they would always look to Him daily, that He would provide each step on that balance beam, if you will, daily. He was teaching them and us that true security comes from relying on His faithfulness, not from the things that we can stockpile and gather together. You see, we're often tempted to store up just in case provisions or money or bank accounts, whether that's holding on to resources or planning for every possible outcome in life, or maybe even it's just keeping those little comforts close at hand. These small preparations, and sometimes large preparations when you're planning for retirement, it gives us some sense of control. But God, He's calling us to something deeper. He wants us to practice daily dependence on Him, being able to let go of our tight grip on our things and trust Him to meet our needs. And you see, as we loosen our hold, we find that His strength meets us right where we are, moment by moment, step by step. And so I want you to think about that just in case item or battle plan that you have in place, maybe something you carry with you. It's an extra charge or a snack, a first aid kit. These things, they help us feel prepared for whatever comes our way. There are small security blankets if something goes wrong, maybe even like jumper cables. But God's invitation on dependence goes beyond these little things. Depending on Him isn't about having backup plans or supplies or the right equipment. It's about trusting that He will meet us where we are, even when we can't see how. And it's what God did when He provided for the Israelites one day at a time. And so He calls us to let go of our need for just in case and lean into His promises and depend on Him. And I want to be clear here. He's not asking us to discard wisdom or preparation or being a good steward. But He does call us to a radical trust that places Him as our primary source of security. Because I think it's so easy to rely on all of these man-made things instead of Him. And when we rely on God, we're not just surviving, we're leaning on a greater strength that sustains us through any of life's challenges and obstacles. You see, those items, those bank accounts may help you be prepared for small inconveniences, but in the bigger picture, it's God's presence. Man, it's God's presence that sustains us through life's storms, loss, heartbreak, hurt. And so your engagement question for today is, what's one thing that you always keep in your bag or car that's just in case? Is it more of a useful item for you to use, or maybe something of comfort? We'd love to see your answer over in the Church Center app.